Hi everyone, and welcome to a new episode of NeCXt. Today, we're diving into the world of Web3 and asking the crucial question, is Web3 finally ready for enterprise? My name is David, and for more than 15 years, I've been guiding Fortune 500 companies through their digital transformation. I've seen the promises, the failures, and the quiet successes that actually move the needle. Do you remember the ICO madness of 2017? Some projects were going to revolutionize desert energy. Some promised to transform IoT. Whilst many projects collapsed or did not deliver upon expectation, smart entrepreneurs were quietly building tools that today companies like LVMH, MoonPay, or the Sandbox are using. My guest today, Samir Addamine, is one of them. After selling his previous mobile CRM company, he founded Absolute Labs in San Francisco and pioneered the concept of wallet relationship management that is now starting to be part of CMO's vocabulary. So the question is no longer, will Web3 work? It's how are your competitors already using it to create value? So let's find out. Samir, welcome to NeCXt. It's a real pleasure to have you here today. To start with, could you share a bit about your journey from Paris to the Silicon Valley?
Thank you, David. Thank you for inviting me. I've been in the US now in San Francisco for like 11 years. It's my absolute company we're going to talk about today. And the topic about Web3 is my third company. And I started it in the end of 21, like beginning 22. But Paris, San Francisco was in 2014, right? With my co-founder, we were building a mobile CRM, as you mentioned, David, and we are struggling in raising any money in France at this time, and so we decided to do a startup competition in San Francisco. And luckily, we were one of the winners and came back to Paris. Still no doors opens from French investors, but the American guys called us and, VCs and a few others. And then we got very, very fortunate since actually Mark Benioff, Salesforce founder and CEO team reached out to me and say, hey, Mark is interested in meeting with you. So I met with Mark and he decided to invest in the company. He became my first investor in the US and opened many doors, right? As you can imagine, right? Anyway, so we entered the Silicon Valley through a very large door here, right? And then eventually we moved to San Francisco with family. My co-founder Anthony, he moved to Montreal. He's very happy in Canada. He's graduated from McGill University, which was great. He's in charge of product and tech. And other co-founders stayed in Paris, which made us like a startup company in two continents already back in 2014. Then we grow the company, this mobile CRM. Struggled in the first 2-3 years of the company in the US. We had to learn, how to go to market in the US and how to do it. But again, we had some great mentors and investors, so it helped a lot. We were able to go to Series A 2 years later and accelerate the company and become one of the leaders in this category according to Gartner on the Magic Quadrant. So that's when I moved actually to the US. I'm still based in San Francisco with this new company, Absolute Labs.
Great. It's an amazing journey. Well done, by the way. It's very inspiring and very interesting. Also, you mentioned mindsets and how to tap into and adapt to the US mindset. Maybe we'll speak a little bit later about that, but that's also a very interesting topic. So you mentioned CRM. So you moved from mobile CRM, so your former company, Photo Analytics, to founding Absolute Labs today. What thread connects those two journeys? And most importantly, what made you suddenly think, hey, the future lies into customer relationship and wallets?
So we've always been, with my co-founders, thinking about how this interaction between the brand, the enterprise company and the consumer here is going to happen, right? And the technology has been changing a lot. So, but one thing that is very important here is privacy, right? Data control, right, for the end user. So on mobile, there are some rules here happening, and then we had GDPR, which is great, and over regulation. For example, we have one in California, but not all over the world. And when we discovered crypto back in 21, when we started investing personally to try to understand what's going on there, right? We came late to crypto, beginning of 21, right? End of 2020. And actually we realized, wallets are like public data, on the blockchain. They're anonymized. People that owns a wallet keep a control of their data here. They decide whether or not they want to connect it. So we realize that's the future of marketing, right? Where, I am in control of my data, of my privacy. I decide or not to share my name or email or whatever, but I can still transact with you. I can still make a transaction, right? So then we realize, hey, all this data is public. It's anonymized. Why don't we put that in a CRM? We call it wallet relationship management because it's a wallet first, not a wallet centric, but wallet first CRM. The idea here is that, there's like 1.3 billion wallets. There's probably 800 million of them that have done a transaction. We analyze 400 million but are doing like regular transactions today, right? And this number has been growing over the years, right? And so that's how, we came with this idea back in 21, sorry, after investing some money in crypto, and this time was crazy, by the way. In the old days, everyone was making money here. And we decided to be serious again and build a product. We started building, we hired developers. We took our gains on crypto. We hired developers and started bootstrapping the company and building a product, right? CRM, marketing automation, analytics. We indexed all the chains that were relevant, a dozen of them, where most of the audience was, all the wallets. Then we did our own indexing here. We built a team for that, our own nodes, etc. And then we wanted to have the best segmentation tool. We wanted to have as well all this data in our CRM with all these profiles and being able then to engage with them through like wallet messaging, but also email, SMS, push notification, Twitter, etc. We cover all these channels, right? With our platform today.
So bringing actually your learnings from your past companies and experience on CRM to a new dimension, tapping into the power of the wallets and the data that are in there. We'll come back and we'll deep dive into the solution in a few minutes. Before that, you mentioned the ancient times back in the day. The big blockchain buzz started you said 21, but there was already a first bull run in 2017. From the buzz, where do we really stand today, and under what condition today does Web3 still create measurable business value, and most importantly, for whom?
Okay, so at Absolute, our focus is to bridge these Web2 companies to Web3, right? To help them, because we believe Web3 is gonna be mainstream once these brands adopt it, right? Because they have the millions of consumers today. So it's very interesting because back in 21, 22, there were a lot of, I call it the first generation, the Web3 first generation, and it failed in some way. High, no regulation, scams. Brands started investing a lot in crypto, in NFTs, and very seriously, right? We had many customers on this, and leveraging our product because these guys have a marketing stack. They use Salesforce, they use these type of platforms. They needed a product that is as professional as Salesforce, integrated with their Salesforce CRM to capture the data and better understand this new type of customers. Unfortunately, regulation didn't happen in 22, 23. We had a bear market, happening. We had like a crypto winter. So this first generation project failed for most of them, right? And then we enter into a second generation. What is interesting here is, there's more and more wallets. There's more and more people investing in crypto. And we realize that there is a new customer segment here, right? Potentially. We call them crypto savvy shoppers, crypto savvy consumers. And then, we came with this idea of, hey, we have many customers in the luxury, retail, consumer goods, etc. We have investors such as the LVMH, fund, right? And we have Samsung Next as an investor, et cetera, several companies like this. And so it was easier for us to go to them and say, hey, there's more and more wallets here. Your customers, your existing audience have a wallet, right? Maybe 1 to 10% of your audience have a wallet on your website. And now we know that actually. So we put an SDK on many of these websites and started like connecting the audience that have wallets, because our SDK detects anyone that comes to a website or a mobile app that have a crypto wallet, right? And then engage with them through pop-ups and over marketing channels. And then we realize, hey, 1 to 10% of any website, your enterprise website, e-commerce, retail, finance, have a wallet, crypto savvy actually consumers, right? They don't know it. That's it. We are able to know now. We know that these crypto savvy shoppers convert more, on this website 3 to 5 times. We know that it adds on e-commerce incremental revenue when we add products like ours and potentially crypto payments, 3 to 11%, right? We know that the average order value is higher, like 15 to 25%, etc. So we started realizing that, and that's why I call the second generation, right, of Web3 project for companies. There's other ways for them to leverage crypto. I mentioned crypto payment. That's a huge one, right? Crypto payment is growing. Some companies adopted it like 3 years ago, didn't work, unfortunately. Audience was not there. But crypto payment is not just about a transaction, it's about data. And our approach here is that we call intelligent crypto payment, meaning that before the transaction, we know the users, we know their habits, we know their interests, we know their holdings, we know what they have in terms of liquidity, but also portfolio. And we can then customize the approach, come with, incentives. And post-transaction, there's all these loyalty incentives as well that can come, right? To continue the conversation with these consumers. So I think we entering this second generation, there is a huge value created for many companies we're helping now. There's a second topic, stable coins, that is quite interesting in helping enterprise companies reduce cost here in international money transfers, right? Crypto payment, obviously, but also money transfer, eliminating the bank fees here. We've seen projects like Walmart and Amazon announcing their stablecoin very soon, but many companies actually are evaluating that, and we are working with our partner to help them with this as well.
If I summarize, so for you, the biggest use case you see and the added value is around data. So better knowing the audiences, unveiling the invisible, if I may say it like that, and leveraging this data to further engage and keep on before or after the purchase engagement with the customers. You mentioned stable coins as a way to transfer money. We talked also a lot over the past years about traceability, so tracking materials, products in terms of quality insurance. Is this something that, in your opinion, is still a thing? Do you see that happening in other companies or when you talk to clients?
So yeah, there is still this use case happening, right? We see a lot of projects around DPPs, for example, digital product passports, right? There is a consortium called Aura Blockchain we're working with, but it's all these luxury brands and our members like LVMH, Prada, Mercedes, etc. We're participating in creating a kind of a standard digital product passport. There's a regulation in Europe that's handling all the traceability and all these things, right? The sustainability of products and tokenizing products, actually, which is quite interesting. And then you have payments, right? That is another big topic here, as I mentioned. But again, crypto payment is not to be considered as what we know about transactions today. It comes with data, right? It comes with a profile. So here, that's why our product, Web3 CRM, here makes sense. And that's why the first generation of crypto payment project failed. It's not just when I connect my wallet to make a payment, I share all my history. And I don't do that with a credit card. I don't do that with, any other payment system that exists, right? So that's why we call it intelligent payments, right? Because here there's much more in the relationship that we create with the consumer during this transaction before and after.
All right, thank you. And what I like is also you shared a few KPIs, which are quite impressive. So it clearly shows the value in engaging with consumer, leveraging the data that sits on the wallet in terms of average spend, frequency, and most importantly, this is a target that is largely untapped right now. So pretty free of marketing initiatives. So let's deep dive into Absolute Lab. So you already explained a little bit the concept of wallet relationship management and the added value that it can bring through KPIs. If I'm a CMO listening to that, what can Absolute Lab and the wallet relationship management unlock for me as a marketeer that the classic CRM will never do in terms of activation or loyalty?
It's very simple. Our CRM, compared to the others, comes with 400 million profiles. They're anonymized, and we have them today. Right? And probably 1 to 10% of them, of your audience, of this brand audience, have this, crypto savvy shoppers, right? Crypto savvy consumers, and we have them. We have their data with, just a simple SDK, 5 lines of code on their website or mobile app can activate that, and boom, we can start engaging and transacting with them. That's what we call Web3 commerce, right? It's how can we activate an audience? Now, that's not the only thing we do, because here the companies have their own audience that they ignore today, right? That have a buying power, but they ignore, right? Maybe they know that this person that came to their website bought a product, but they don't know that this person have, a high liquidity on Bitcoin, or that this person is interested in Formula One, because we know that they own and they connect to dApps related to Formula One, et cetera, right? So all this data is signals are quite relevant for the CMO, and to enrich and better segment these customers that are mostly premium customers. Right? So yeah, we can unlock revenue with a new category of customers. That's what we do. And we do drive to e-commerce, but also drive to store. I have a great story I can share with you. A luxury brand, very high-end luxury, one of our customers in Singapore, we helped them do a drive to store campaign with crypto savvy shoppers coming from an exchange that have high net worth individual that have, credit cards, crypto credit cards, right? And this actually was a way for these brands to test. Does it make sense? It is very really an existing new customer segment here that we call crypto savvy shoppers. So we invited like 30 of them, right? So people that had buying power higher than $500,000 in their wallet, right? And they came. They had a special experience in this boutique. They were welcomed and they bought product. And then the brand realized, okay, not only you were able to identify persona that match our brand persona, from Web3 crypto savvy people, but also these people came and paid with a crypto Visa card. So there is like around 15 to 20 million crypto cards today. There's 100 of them that were issued by MasterCard and Visa with Crypto.com, Binance, Coinbase, MetaMask, etc. Right? There's many, many of them. But there is 400 million active wallets today, right? So the idea for this luxury brand was to say, okay, level 1, we open to you the ones that have a credit card, just for you to know that you have crypto savvy shoppers today. They're willing to buy. But then you have even a larger addressable market with the ones that have a wallet, right? We can also work on this, right?
Interesting. You mentioned several times these 5 lines SDK, so easy to plug in. This is something, if I relate to my corporate life, which is key actually when you're a big corporate. The key question is, how does that integrate in my tech stack? Do I need to do some further and massive investment? Would it give nightmares to my IT team? So do you have any golden integration principles you've learned, and how does that work for Absolute Lab to plug in into existing platforms like Salesforce, Snowflake, etc.?
It's very simple. Our SDK, these 5 lines of code, runs client side, right? We integrate that into a Google Tag Manager or any tag system that is used, right? And that's it. Then we have server side, webhooks that streams into Salesforce Data Cloud and Sales Cloud and homegrown, CDPs. There's no token needed, no PII, processed. The wallet is just another data point in the marketing stack of the company. That's it, right? And so we made it really, really simple. We have a simple SDK that unlocks, what we call Web3 commerce revenue from CRM enrichment, back to e-commerce, right to store, and crypto payment. And that can be activated at different times, right? Obviously, crypto payments require more integration, but even there, we're making huge progress here to make it really simple.
Great. So easy and seamless integration. So we talked about IT. What about regulation? So between on-chain transparency in Europe, GDPR, now we have the MICA. How do you balance the wallet's public nature with strict privacy expectation? And where's your enterprise sweet spot here?
Sure. So same here, right? Here, we work mostly with enterprise companies. So we on certification, we are on SOC 2 compliance, we are on all of these. We obviously follow GDPR and now MiCA. And so crypto wallets first are public data, right? They're anonymized, but they're public data. Now, we don't store any personal data. No custody, no user found, no exposure actually to MiCA and the US regulation. The clients are compliant because we give them the tool to ask consent before a user going to share any data here, right? Directly on mobile or web, right? But then so then we can use the crypto wallet signals to enrich the CRM or the CDP, right?
Right, thank you. This whole thing, this whole notion of Web3, just the terms in itself sometimes is scary for many people.
Yeah.
You mentioned there are some brands who invested massively during the past bull runs and didn't see the results because it failed. You mentioned these first, second generations of solutions and companies. So I guess when you go to traditional companies and you pitch something, when you talk about crypto, Web3, crypto payment, there's this element of change management and resistance to change when you hit the C-suites today. So what is the single proof point that you use to flip the conversation?
That's a very good point. So this resistance to change, we had the same with AI, right? And then AI became mainstream, right? Thanks to ChatGPT. But we have our ChatGPT moment on crypto now, right? Which means that stable coins, crypto used to be toxic, in some companies, still is. And in some companies, they had some bad experiences, as you said, right? And now regulation is happening in the US. It happened in December 24 in Europe with MiCA. So now, things are changing, stablecoin bill act, in the US, and all of that is actually accelerating. I mean, it's insane to realize that a few months ago, probably 8 months ago, many of these amazing, entrepreneurs in the US that have tokens, etc., were exposed. These big companies that we know today are the heroes of the crypto industry, and they are all at the White House, etc., right? With the president and around the table talking about this regulation and lobbying for their industry, right? I mean, all these guys were exposed to the justice a few months ago. Now they're all heroes, right? It's quite amazing to see how fast it's going and how the US is actually taking a lead here, right, on this. But Europe as well now with MiCA is opening the door, right, for more innovation. So I find it very interesting in Asia, Middle East as well. Middle East, quite amazing to see what's going on there. I'm going to spend more time there in the coming months because we see a lot of interesting regulation happening there as well. So I would say, look, I mean, there's still these executives in these companies saying, "Hey, we don't think our customers have crypto." Okay, I have a way to tell you within a few weeks, right? Or within a few days, if it's the case or not. Just integrate my SDK, 5 lines of code on any of your websites or landing page or whatever, right? Or mobile app, and then you'll see. I remember in this luxury brand, high jewelry, they were telling us our customers are old. I mean, we don't think they have wallets. And then after we put our SDK in before Christmas, I remember, and they realized that they have almost 2% of their audience that have wallets with a high buying power. And we also realized that these customers with wallets, they were actually buying more and converting more, even by paying with their credit card on the website. So that changed their approach here, right? And I think, it's always the same thing. You have the early adopters that are going to go fast and take most of the benefits here. And then you have the slow followers, but everyone is going to come to it, right?
Interesting. And I smiled when you say that you hear regularly, like our customers are old, they're not on crypto or Web3. If you step back a little bit, you heard the same things, in 2010, like our customers are old, they're not online, and then they're not on Facebook, and so on and so forth. But eventually everyone ended up to be there. You mentioned ChatGPT. I like to quote the ChatGPT moment. Let's look a little bit beyond today. Let's look at the future, near future. Which convergence scenario, like AI agent, wallet relationships, IoT smart contracts, or you name it, something else. So which convergence scenario could first deliver board level ROI that would justify massive Web3 transformation investment and budget?
So there is obviously AI plus crypto happening as well here. So first, AI is very centralized, right? Unfortunately today. And I think one way to protect ourselves from this AI now very large, players is to make it more decentralized. And that's where crypto and the technology, the blockchain technology can help. I mean, AI is consuming the data, right? And it costs them a lot, right? So I think there's many projects here on blockchain focused on AI, data centers, etc., decentralizing AI, right? I think there is like a very interesting, movement here, right? And then you have all these agents, obviously, that's going to help, we are working on this as well at Absolute, right? We have like a scoring agent, a persona AI, and a shopper agent on the website, for example, on an e-commerce, a crypto shopper agent that's gonna, connect your wallet, know more about your interest, about crypto, match that with your interest in a product, your persona. We matching the Web3 and the Web2 persona here and helping, right? The sales funnel here. So I think, AI is already in everything, but especially with crypto here, there's like different layers of involvement, right? On the infrastructure side with the blockchain technology, decentralization. On the agent side here, there's like a half dozen projects we're working on now. Leveraging AI agents with full marketing purpose.
Interesting, and maybe we'll do a next episode in a few months because I really like the concept of decentralization or bringing decentralized mindset to AI that you just mentioned. This is something to dig into, definitely. We're getting into the end of this interview. I'd like to ask you one last question. If our listeners could walk into their board meeting room tomorrow and thanks to you, just ask one strategic question, what should it be for them to unlock their company's Web3 opportunity?
So I would say one question would be how many crypto savvy, consumers we've seen on our e-commerce or finance website, mobile app, right? In the last quarter, and what revenue are we missing here, right? Because this is again incremental revenue. And maybe I would add a second one would be that, as a large company, we're doing a lot of transactions worldwide, whether it's B2C or B2B, money transfer, how much money we save thanks to stablecoins, right? And that would be the two main metrics I would ask, right? Or KPIs I would ask my board, right, about.
All right, thank you very much. And if someone actually who's listening tries, we'd love to hear what was the feedback and the outcome of that. Samir, thank you very much for getting towards the end of this discussion. Before we end, I'd like to wrap up some takeaways from our discussion today. So first, I think the Web3 revolution is happening today in the boardrooms. And the smart companies are those who today understand that customer ownership is changing. The second big point is around ROI comes from data, not from the tokens. So when you can analyze customer wallets with consents, and we've seen that, you can unlock new level of personalization and turbocharge your CRM, as you said, and new revenue streams. And the third point would be that the winners, they don't talk about Web3 transformation. They're talking about progressive integration and measurable proof of concepts. So as you know, I'm a true believer in useful technology, and I truly believe that Web3 today is one of those that's moving promise to practice. It's not about the hype. It's more about the competitive advantage for those who understand how to leverage Web3 strategically for their companies. Samir, thank you very much again for being part of this episode. And thanks you to all our listeners for tuning in. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to subscribe, share, leave a review, and stay tuned for more conversation. And until next time, stay curious, stay ahead, and see you soon on Next to hear what's next in tech and leadership. Bye-bye.
Thank you, David. Thank you.